All right, I think we're live on YouTube. I need to go double check. All right. What's going on, YouTube gang? Start the TikTok stream in a second. Oh, fuck. Alrighty, gang. Wait for a few people to roll in here. Alrighty, boys. Pretty clean PA today. Honestly, at the start of the session, I thought it was going to be an up-only session just like yesterday. Wasn't the case. Did finally get a dump. This is the biggest dump we've seen all week. So 70 points from the high of New York down to the low of New York so far. May seem like a lot, and it is, but keep in mind, basically ever since the weekly open here, we're up 277 points. So still up over 200 points on the week to current price. I did like this setup. I was actually hunting longs down near 63s, but never got the fill. And then by the time that 63s retested, like I felt like the setup had kind of fizzled out. However, I do like the fact that we did run this cluster of lows. If we are going to put in a bottom, it makes sense that it would be from here. So definitely more long biased. I think we can trade out towards 83s potentially. And then kind of a big test at 83s, I think. I think 83s could even be shortable. Like maybe like 80s into like 87s, layer some orders. Do ones, 82s, 83s. So that 4, 87s. So we'll see. Maybe we'll look for a scalpable move. I'd be trying to trade it out towards like 70s or maybe a little bit lower, like 65s. Again, like I said, structurally, I think it looks better for longs, but the long entries were lower, like around 62s, 63s, 61s-ish. If we go back test this 80 zone, I'd be looking for a potential rejection there. So we'll see. Still trading eval. Passed one eval yesterday in the premium live stream. So we've got one funded secured so far since starting these free streams. On to eval number 3. So we've got one eval passed, ready to be activated. I blew another eval. So 1 for 1. Or sorry, 1 for 2 so far. And this is the third fresh brand new eval. Just going to be trying to scalp Only about 2 hours left in the session, so we'll see how we do here. Like I said, I am viewing 80s up to 87s as resistance. I would be looking for something like test into this resistance pocket, sell back off, maybe into this cluster of highs here. So would be more of a scalp for sure. See if we get it. And again, structurally, I did like this for longs. I was actually trying to long this in the premium Discord. Price got within 1 tick of filling my long and then reversed. So no fill, no trade is what it is. See how this resistance handles. But otherwise, hope everyone's having a good day. Now, if these orders don't get filled and say there's like better structure made lower, say we fill this area out a bit more, maybe even sweep and defend the low, I'd be more interested in longs in that scenario. Right now, I'm just looking for a resistance test up near 80s. These orders may or may not get pulled depending on the PA. That's just kind of how I'm feeling about it right now. And I'm trading MES today, not ES. So in case you guys were following along, I'm not trying to short 10 ES. This would be on the micro contracts. Market looks sick. In a good way or a bad way? I think structurally it looks like it wants to move higher. We've defended support pretty well. We swept out an area I really liked. This low basically must hold now to see continued upside. I think we're just kind of tightening up here in preparation for the power hour. Like if we stay consolidated like this for the next 45 minutes and then start, you know, grinding higher for power hour, I'd probably pull all these orders. Probably wouldn't be interested in shorting anymore. I'd short this area that I'm looking at if it fills within the next like 20 minutes or so. If it doesn't, then I'll probably reevaluate. Right now, I like this as resistance, right? It was resistance yesterday, capped the market yesterday, traded through it during the overnight session, back tested it here as support, ended up pumping. Tried to hold it as support earlier on in the day, and then it failed down. So back testing it now, it's either going to reclaim or it's going to reject. I'm gonna bet on rejection since we've been mostly downtrending most of the session. The only thing that scares me is that we're obviously very bullish overall this week, and then we did sweep out pretty reasonable liquidity. So a little bit nervous about that. We'll see. You move your stop up to 77.67. Good luck, man. Are you still long at like 63s? Did you get filled on that initial dip, by the way? I did not. Yeah, right here. Earlier on, guys, in the premium, I was trying to long 63s, stop at the low of the day. This was the trade I was trying to take earlier. It came within one tick of filling me. It went down to 77.63.25, didn't fill, started bouncing. Came back again, started bouncing on a higher high. So I was thinking, well, if it comes back into 63s now, I don't really want it. So I pulled my order. The long is technically like still valid and still working. I was just being a little bit more conservative. It did run about +1R so far. Just like 2 ticks under +1R, but we'll round up here for the sake. Yeah, like I said, structurally it looks good. Momentum it's reasonable that we're kind of fading off right now. Yeah, this is ES Burgers. On the 5-minute, gotcha. Is this a reversal to the upside? Potentially forming. Certainly potentially forming. We did just spike the high on the small time frame here, so let's see what happens. There's still a lot of potential trades I can take today, honestly, even with less than 2 hours in the session. I think the range is really well defined right now. Yeah, I think range is really well defined, pretty reasonable to manage risk depending on where you want to be in a position from. So even though price is moving pretty slow right now, I think that we have potential to get a nice risk to reward type trade on at some point. So I mean, Burger's asking if this is a bearish flag. I view the market slightly differently. So this cluster of lows here is from the end of day New York session yesterday. If you guys will recall, yesterday we basically, let's see where's open. Open was around here. It's around here. We pumped all day yesterday. Didn't get a single good dip all day. Like biggest dip on the day was like 15 points or something like that. Then when we got near these range highs here at 77.80s roughly, we started selling off. We sold off here basically the entire rest of New York session. Once we sold off from this area, here, let me pull my orders real quick so it's cleaner. Once we set the structural top here, where did we set the structural lows on the small time frame? It was generally these lows into here. So this was the first micro support when we were heading into the Asia session yesterday. You see Asia, or I guess technically today, you see Asia opened up in here. It continually rejected off of this resistance level. I'll make this red so it's easy to visualize here. Blue support, red resistance. Continually rejected here. Eventually reclaimed it and moved higher. When we came back down to test it as support, it held. Held right here for another move up and a higher high. Okay, so previous resistance turned into support here, ended up moving up for a higher high, and then as you guys know, if you were trading the early AM session, we essentially topped out today up near 78.15s and have kind of been selling off all session. When we came back into that support for a second time, we ended up failing it. It failed to hold as support and it moved down. Where did it go? It went straight to this cluster of lows here. Same cluster of lows we had marked out from the previous day session. What happened there? We swept out all that liquidity. So all this here was the liquidity sweep. Make it purple just to differentiate. Everything in purple box was the liquidity sweep underneath this shelf of lows that I've from yesterday's session. We bounced up, reclaimed blue box, and are attempting to push it higher. So that's how I'm viewing the market right now. I'm viewing it with a slight bullish lean, thinking that we can bounce. Where would we expect a bounce to potentially stall out at? That SR that we've been looking at since yesterday. Again, this was resistance, support here, support failed, broke down. So if we go back up and test this, it would not be surprising to me to see us test in here and then fail back into the support and potentially range out rest of session. So that's what I'm basing my short trade off of right now. If we do get up towards 80s, that's why I had all those orders in. Oops, I don't want 10 there. So I'm going to scale these orders back in. Scaling these orders back in here in case we test this. I view the entire range as resistance, and if it tops out there, I'd be looking to TP it either near this small time cluster of highs in here, like TP1 probably is in here, TP2 in blue box, TP3 would be new lows on the day. So we'll see if we can get that. No problem at all, Burger. That's just how I view the market. Not just because I view it this way doesn't mean it's going to play out, and it's not going to happen exactly like that, obviously. But that's just my read right now. If I'm wrong, then I'll be invalidated on like a break and close and, you know, consistent momentum above there. So we shall see. Typically, these type of longs here are like my bread and butter setup, where we have a very, very clear defined shelf of lows. We flush it, right? I don't care how low it goes, but we flush it. That's in purple. And then we try and get long on reclaims of that support. So we initially bounced up into 69s. It came back into 60s. This would have been a decent long here. Stop at the low. Would have been decent there. You'd still be holding it because it really hasn't moved that far in your favor. It's moved as far as 0.87. If you're a little bit more conservative, you could have gotten potentially a better fill. Stop doesn't always have to go right at the low, but that's like the higher probability setup there. Obviously, if you have a really tight setup or a really tight stop, it's going to stop out a lot more often, but your risk to reward will be much better. So I try and provide like good quality zones to take trades at, and it's up to each individual trader to be able to define their own risk there. That's just how I do it. Your ending break even, Tondi? Honestly, totally fine, all things considered. So pre-textbook setup, I can see this moving higher. If it does move higher, I'll try and short it at first resistance level up for a level-to-level move back into support. Obviously, we're in a pretty slow part of the session right now, so, you know, maybe things will pick up within the next 30 minutes or so, especially, you know, last hour of days, usually when majority of volume can return. So see if we get that. I'm probably going to give it like 10 or 15 more minutes, and if we can't start moving higher, then I might pull these orders, because these passive orders in the market doesn't mean that they absolutely have to fill, especially if we start picking up momentum near start of power hour. I'd rather just wait for a different setup. But yeah, if we can get a nice spike into there, I think it should initially reject. I do like that we formed more range this session. It's been pretty lucrative, obviously, on the way up. But it's been a bit annoying. Like if you don't, like, let's talk about like Monday, Tuesday. If you didn't basically market buy, then you probably just missed the pump. And obviously if you tried shorting, you just got completely ran over. I like it more when it's a two-way market, especially when price levels are respecting really well. So hopefully we end up ranging out for the rest of the week. That would be ideal for me personally. Just would give us the opportunity to take both sides of the market instead of only looking one way. It's actually funny, if we go look at NQ on the weekly here, NQ at the start of New York session today ran this weekly high here from the July 13th close. Go to the 1 minute. Ran the weekly high, completely failed up there. And obviously you guys know what happened rest of session. From swinging that low, or sorry, from swinging that high, we sold off 1%, nearly 300 points lower to current price, and actually over 300 points on the day from that high. So absolutely insane short that could have been taken up there. See, I did not take it, but worth shouting out. Weekly levels and daily levels and stuff like that are just as important, if not more important, than intraday levels. If we do break underneath the low of day, I would probably look out below, because honestly, if we don't bottom here, it's very, very thin to the downside. Like we could really retrace a lot of this move. Probably won't happen today, but it would be something that I'd be looking for tomorrow, especially if we broke underneath today's low, back tested this area as resistance, 63 is where we spent the better part of a couple hours trying to build a support shelf. If we were to go back test that, then that would be a good short. It may not look like it on the 1 minute chart. It might look like, oh, if we didn't even get close to getting fills, but I mean, really, we're only 5 points away from getting a fill here. Range is just pretty tight right now. I'm expecting that to open up here in the next 30 minutes or so, power hour. Price is back testing support now. See if it holds. Again, this is a really good environment for scalp traders. When volume dies down like this, like near middle of the day / end of day, you're not expecting huge trending moves. You're expecting price to more or less just trade within a tight range. So I would anticipate this blue box of support on the screen holds, at least for a nice little scalpable tradable bounce. When ranges are very well defined like this and you want to scalp low time frame, you can just do it until the range breaks. Like if we just use this small time frame range as an example, you'd probably feel pretty confident the range had formed maybe here-ish, maybe about a little over an hour ago. every long from blue box would have worked for a tradable move, and every short from purple box would have worked for a tradable move. So if you're interested in trading low time frame like that, you can. You just got to be very, very honest with yourself and be like, okay, are we breaking the range lows here? If we're breaking the range lows and holding for a significant move lower, like I'll just stop out. I don't need to catch. I don't need to be what's the word I'm looking for? Stubborn. I don't need to be stubborn. Just trade the range while it's there. Once it breaks, you're done. So still waiting for a trade, guys. You guys can see where my resting orders are. I'll give it a little bit longer, honestly. And then I probably will pull them. Would still be interested in shorting like the area or a similar area, but I'd rather wait for more confirmation. I was looking for that to test maybe 20 minutes ago, and we're just moving lower. Especially if we defend the low of day here and rip back higher, then I probably want to stand out of the way. So those range lows holding yet again. If you're scalping, you'd be in maybe 4 or 5 points of profit right now. This is not gold now. This is ES. It's a little slow right now, guys, but again, power hour is coming up here in about 20 minutes, hoping to see some more volatility. That's going to fall through. It's holding for now. It's holding for now. Totally could fall through, but not yet. I do want to be able to put a trade on for you guys at some point. I'm really holding out hope for a power hour starting about 15 minutes. Usually we'll see some volatility and some volume just in general return to the market. We have a really well-defined range that we're currently trading in right now. Support's pretty obvious. Resistance is pretty obvious. If the extremes break, then things get a little bit more dicey. Again, guys, like I said at the top of the stream, just keep scalping the range until it doesn't work anymore. Support just held there to the tick and has bounced up 5 or 6 points. Better than nothing. Back up to small time frame resistance here. So a trade would have looked something like, you know, long here, stop just underneath. Wide enough that you don't get wicked out. 6 points-ish. Let's ran over an R here. See if it keeps moving. You want to short NQ, but you don't know where? I want to short ES. I like the resistance level that I have picked out. It's just if we pick up momentum here, especially after holding that support, I'll probably pull the orders. Heading back into support here. Power hour about to start here as well. I kind of want to see a sweep of low of day now at this point. I don't know. We'll see. We're still just feeling it out. Not really too much to report yet. Pretty tight range. And back here at support. Support's been tested too much here for me to feel comfortable longing it at this point. If you're scalping, it's still scalpable. You just got to be really patient, I guess, with your position, because we are still chopping. If this support floor does break, I'd be expecting low of data sweep. So make or break level is basically the blue box that you see on the screen. Longs are still valid in the meantime. If we don't get an actual setup within the next 30 minutes, then I'll probably just punt a random trade to try something. Today I've been sitting here all day, haven't been able to get a trade on this eval. Looking bearish. How sure are you feeling in a trade like this? I'm not in a trade, man. This is just a trade I called out for anyone who was wanting to take it. It's like long support until it stops working. So far it's ran 1.33R. But I'm not in anything. I'm still waiting. I'm hoping we can get a decent move here to end the session. About 50 minutes left. And honestly, I don't think it's looking bearish unless we lose our support floor at 60s. Bulls have the ball in their court until then. this liquidity level, the low of day, I mean, everyone's going to be looking at this, but if we don't sweep this in today's session, I'll be certainly looking at this during Asia and just tomorrow in general. All right, I'm gonna pull these orders. Been waiting too long on them. So structurally, I think this looks good. Like, I think that this can still move higher. Obviously, we're chopping right now, so chop doesn't really favor bulls or bears. But from a liquidity standpoint, we did take out that shelf of lows from yesterday. So I think we can still move up. Still just too early to pull the trigger on anything. I've only been live for about an hour and 15 minutes. So since about here, 77.69s is about where price was when I went live. And we are still at 77.69s. We've moved 5 points higher and 5 points lower. So we've been in a 10-point range for over an hour here. Well, actually, honestly, much longer than that. But since we've been on stream, we've essentially been in this 10-point range for 3 hours now. All right, boys, honestly, I think I'm just going to try and scale into a long here. Like I said, structurally, it looks fine. If we break underneath this low, then it's going to be GG's anyway. Probably wouldn't get a trade if that were the case. So I think I'm going to scale into a long. Hope we can get a spike near end of day. That's going to be my goal here. All right, let me get in some at 69, some at 65s. 61s as well. I'll stick with the 9 position size and just see what the reaction looks like, you know, if and when we get down and fill that last order. See if we can get this to rip higher. So again, this is our third eval that I've bought in. I've passed one, and that one is funded. And then I blew a different one. So we're 1 for 2 on evals so far. This is our third eval. This will be the first trade on it. So let's see if we can get filled all 9. I would be a little bit nervous, honestly, if the lowest order filled, because that means that we'd be breaking this entire shelf of lows. But we'll gamble it. Again, this is just an eval. See if we can get some type of upside today. Stop loss would be at low of day. Really not going to get this fill at 69s. I think we will. I think we will. All right, there's one order filling. Again, hoping that we can get a spike near end of day. Just on eval, again, I'm being really aggressive here because we've been sitting on stream for quite a while and haven't been able to get a trade on. We'll see if this works or not. Stop loss on this is going to be underneath low of day. And we're looking for this to push up to at least this resistance. So it'd probably be like, if we get all orders filled, it's probably around a 1-to-1, a little bit better. If we get all orders filled, it'll be around 1.5 R if it goes to target. What's up, V Trades? Not really too much to report, honestly. Pretty lax session. I'm trying along here because I think structurally it looks good, but it's more of a guess. I'm just trading eval. Hope your day was good though, man. Trump talks in 30. Honestly, that could help us. I need this to spike up. Don't feed too many raccoons, man. They'll get used to you, and then before you know it, there'll be like 40 in your backyard. Unless you want that. What do you even mean by that? Is it ES or MES? This is MES. I'm trying to scale into a long. You want to pass a lucid eval? Any good strategies I recommend? I mean, it depends what your risk tolerance is. For evals, for me specifically, I try and pass them in 1 day. So I'll be super aggressive with them. Just try and be on the right side of the market for a really small move. If you're trying to trade it like a funded, then just take the setups you'd normally take and eventually it'll pass. But if I were you, which again, not trying to give out financial advice or anything, but if I were someone like you trying to pass an eval, I would just try and take a big position on the right side of the market and hope it trades out in my favor, which is basically what I'm trying to do now. I'm trading an eval on stream right now. Okay, second order is filled there. Good luck, Mr. F. Did you see we're getting nano features? I did see that. Yeah, I did. Was that actually confirmed? I saw CME like post something about it. I don't really know like what the use case for the nanos are. For like me personally, I'm still just going to be on micros, but kind of interesting. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's better to have it than not have it. It just was kind of weird to me. I already think that the minis and the micros are all you need. Come on, ES. Give us a nice little spike to end the session. How did ES do today? ES basically sold off from the start of New York session. We found a bottom after we swept out some liquidity. And we're seeing if we can catch a little bit of a move to the upside before the session ends here in about 15 minutes or so. I'll be right back. Damn, one of those days, huh? One of those days. Precious not really moving too much right now. I mean, I'm not I'm not mad because it's, you know, 5 minutes to go, but I was hoping that power hour could bring some more volatility, more volume. Nothing really today. Nothing during the free live stream. All the important price action happened literally during the first 2 hours, 2.5 hours of New York session, and it's just been poop ever since. It's honestly pretty dumb to be still trying to fill orders with a few minutes left to go in the session. But in case we get a nice little spike higher, I'd like to have a couple more contracts on. Again, just trading eval, trying to get lucky, really. There hasn't really been a setup all day for me to take here on eval. Oh, looks like it's going to be a late day flush instead of a late day pump. Dang it, boys. Dang it, dang it, dang it, man. The late day flush, the elusive late day flush. All right. Took a $675 loss on the eval. It is what it is. We still have got about $1,400 of drawdown left on that eval before it blows, so we'll try and aggressively trade it tomorrow as well, see if we can get back in the green. If not, then we'll just try again. Again, we have passed one of the evals into a funded on stream so far. Blew a second eval, and then we're on the third now. First trade on that is going to be a red trade, unfortunately. So that's going to do it for the stream, guys. Thank you for joining me. I know it was a very boring one until the last few minutes here, but that's how it's going to go sometimes, especially when we're trading, you know, pretty dead portion of the day. But nevertheless, still had a good time hanging out with you guys in here, V-Trades and everyone else. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Premium members know that I'm probably going to be pretty interested in trying to buy dips near Asia session. So we'll see how that goes. All right, guys, I'm done. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll try